Level by Level Gaming, and today I'm going to take a little bit of time to show you a set of USB PC style controllers that I picked up from one of my emulation stations. Now, whenever I was deciding what I wanted for this particular set of controllers, I've been using the Xbox 360 style controller, and for this particular station, which only has old school handhelds, Atari, stuff like that. It doesn't climb up into Nintendo 64 and PlayStation. Having all the buttons that are there for a Xbox 360 style controller just aren't necessary. So when I was deciding, I started surfing Amazon for controllers, and what I came up with, or what I ended up buying, was from a company called Innext. And this very first set of controllers, a 2-pack here for a very reasonable price with good reviews, is what I decided to go with. Now, if you're familiar with Raspberry Pi or RetroPie, Batacera, most of them are based on the SNES style controller to begin with, and anything below Nintendo 64, PlayStation, anything like that, you don't have to have all the buttons that are associated with the modern controllers. So these seem to fit the bill. I ordered them. They are here. It only took a couple days because they are Prime, and if you've been following this channel, you know I'm a pretty big fan of Amazon. I'm sure if something was wrong, I could send them back and wouldn't have any issues there. Now, as far as the company and customer support, I don't know anything about that. I don't know if they're reliable with that or not. Sometimes with these companies, it's hit or miss. Now, something I am also highly interested in, and I probably will do a video, and if I purchase these, are the N64 style USB controllers, because I am interested in just doing a N64 solely used for that emulation station. So if I do that, I'll let you guys know. Now let's hop on over to a unboxing, and then let's hook these things up and see how they do. Alright, here are the controllers. They came in this very small basic package. In fact, when I first got it in the mail and opened it up, first thing I thought was, man, they really did pack these things into just a tight space. I didn't expect it to be that small. But anyways, inside of here, well, let's take a look at the package first. These show the controllers I got, which are these multicolored deals. I guess they do have just a black and red there. It's got the company name across the top. Really not a whole lot required for this. They do have some features here. They are USB 2.0, compatible with the Raspberry Pi PC. Let's see here. That's something that really caught my eye when I was looking these up, because I do use a lot of Raspberry Pis, that it is compatible, even though this emulator that I'm putting onto is a small form factor PC. And let's see, nothing else should be in the package but the controllers. Now we'll open these things up here, and it's just what you expect. There they are. Pretty lightweight. Don't hear anything rattling in there. That's a good sign. Of course, made in China. And that's pretty much it. Not much to it. Let's just dump out this other one. Nothing else in the box. Nope. So should be pretty much plug and play. So let's take these things and let's hook them up and see what we got. Alright, I've got the controllers plugged in to the USB ports on this PC here. What they're replacing is they're replacing these cheap Xbox 360 controllers that actually, for how much I paid for them, gave me quite a bit of use. But as you can see, under a lot of heavy load, these things have been drug around and taken to all kinds of different events and set up for the public to play. These cords are starting to break right here at this part, so wanted something to replace it with. This thing does not have a whole lot of different emulation, what's the word I'm looking for, emulators on there that require all the buttons that are on a Xbox 360 controller. So that being said, let's lock this thing up here, and I've got it running up through the bottom here. Close that up, and I'm going to fire this thing up and show you the controllers in action. Alright, we've got the controllers all plugged in and ready to go on this Batacera emulation station. Now, if you haven't seen this one yet, you can go back in my playlist and you can see where I took the Nexus multi-game thing, gutted it out, and turned it into what you see here. So, like I said, if you're new to the channel, you haven't seen what I do, some of the projects I've done, you can go back and find this to see the details of this emulator. Now, on here, I just have some basic emulation setups here for Atari, Game Gear, Game Boy, the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Neo Geo, that type of thing, PC Engine. So having the full Xbox controller, like I said before, just wasn't completely necessary for this device. Now let's just go ahead and go to Super Nintendo, because that is going to best match the controller there. However, it will work just fine with all the other systems I have on here. Now, speaking of the Super Nintendo style controller, one of the things that I do like about having these on here now is it's not as confusing of what the emulator says across the bottom does what. B select, X for Cody, start for menu. That directly matches with this, whereas with the Xbox 360 controller here, A, B, they're all in different places, and let's see if we can show you that. A and B being reversed, X and Y being reversed. It's blurry because my thing is not focusing right, but anyways, they are not in the same place on these two sets of controllers, and that made it pretty confusing whenever I would go set these things up and let people play. So now that is fixed, and I do like that. So let's go ahead and enter into Super Nintendo here. We'll just run with some Donkey Kong Country. It'd be nice if I had some sound. Cut my sound on here. Alright, so apparently I think this is going to be the second controller because it's not letting me do anything with this. So let's try this controller. There we go. So maybe I was wrong. One player, let's see. Okay, so this is the first player controller. So I am going to mark these somehow, like 1P, 2P, or something like that, just to make it a little easier so people aren't confused. Alright, so we'll just go with 2 players here. I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. Alright, Alright, everything looks like it's in order. I don't know how I would even try the second player, but at this point it really doesn't matter. The point of this whole thing was to show these new controllers, connect them up to this emulator, and let you guys see what my first impressions are. And we will just let time tell how these hold up to punishment, because I will be taking this thing on the road with me to various events and letting people play this. Alright, so it's been Level by Level Gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments.